There we go.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Did it say we've gone live?
Yes.
Yes.
It says,
Okay.
yeah, I see live on there.
Okay, great. All right. Hello, everybody. I've got Aletha and Christine in the chat. Hello. Christine, first time in chat. And Aletha's here too. Okay, great. Michelle's here. Hello, Michelle. And Deb's here. And Sarah, of course. And there is a link in the description for anybody else who wants to join. We can have up to 10 people in the visual, but you're also welcome to join in chat. I try to keep up with it and share, what people are saying and what have you. So we are a weekly, we meet up every Saturday at 4 p.m. Central Time in the U.S. And we just talk about, what have we accomplished? What are our plans? Have we been writing? And I usually have something to share about, I've studied this for years and years. So I usually have something to share about writing or about publishing or something like that. So, and I do have Sarah recommended a really good, very short book on writing that I'm going to talk about today. And you're gonna you're gonna have a whole new silly term that you didn't before. So, hey, Aletha, I just dropped by to say Happy New Year to everyone. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, hon.
Oh, Happy New Year.
Yeah, I hope that this is all of you. I hope this is your best year. I really do. So, and anything I can do to help make that happen, let me know. Okay. All right. So it's just the four of us on camera today. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Well, Michelle, you're new. Do you what writing? What do you write?
Well, I am on chapter 17 of a potentially 20 chapter novel that I talked a little bit about last week. Regarding my great grandparents. But I'm trying to procure an agent.
Michelle, I'm sorry. Hold on just a second. Hang on a second.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of buffering. Yeah. Hold on, guys.
Michelle, I'm sorry. Hold on just a second. Hang on a second.
Miss Christine, can you mute your YouTube?
There we go.
You don't have to mute your microphone. Just mute your YouTube. Like your on your YouTube tab. There we go. You don't have to mute your microphone. Just mute your YouTube.
Hold on.
Your on your YouTube tab. There we go. You don't have to mute your microphone. Just mute your YouTube.
Hold on.
Your on your YouTube tab. There we go. You don't have to mute your microphone. Just mute your YouTube. Your on your YouTube. I'm on loop. Yeah.
Okay. Perhaps she'll reconnect.
Okay. Fabulous. I'm sorry that it didn't work out. Hopefully she'll come back.
Yes.
There we go. Okay.
All right. I'm sorry about that. We couldn't hear you, Michelle, and I wanted to make sure that we heard you. And hello, Jenny. Hello, Lynette.
Hi.
So good to see you. Sorry, but you, Michelle, you were talking. I wanted to be able to fully hear what you're saying. So you're writing about your grandparents, great grandparents.
It's going to be a novel about my great grandparents. Because their story, I feel, is unique. Great grandmother sued for custody of grandfather, and this was in Perryville, Kentucky, which is south of Frankfurt, if anybody knows where Frankfurt is. And she won.
I do. I'm from Kentucky.
She won that case, and she took his father to court on the basis of alienation of affection. and she won. And then he had it retried in a different county, and she won that again. So this is pretty remarkable for a woman in 1905 in Central Kentucky.
Wow. Yeah, definitely.
So about 10 years ago, I got the idea. No, I guess about 15 years ago, I got the idea, somebody needs to tell this story. And it took me about 5 years to get the momentum of, you need to start on this. And then during that time, I had to put it down for about 2 years because I went back and got an AAS degree. So that's why it's been dragged out for that length of time. Hey, I'm on chapter 17 and I've only got 3 more to go.
Yes.
Rock.
Good. Rock on,
Wow.
yes.
Yay.
Really good news, though. In the beginning, I was trying to say I'm trying to procure an agent for this, and the agent wants me to have a writing resume, which right now I don't have. So I put the nose to the grindstone last Saturday night and got my first short story finished, and I got it submitted. Yay!
Yay! Excellent.
So
what do you do about a writing resume if you don't have anything to put on it?
You start one.
All right, let's see if we can get Christine back in, if this will work. There we go. Hello, Christine.
I figured it out. It wasn't that hard.
Oh no, it's like it's
Christine, all of us.
Yeah, it happens to all of us. So, all right. So
I might have to, when I get on YouTube, when I do my classes online, the dogs think someone's here and they want to say hi. So I'm going to mute myself.
Okay. All right.
I'm glad I'm not the only one with unruly pups.
Oh, we're very fur friendly around here. Hey, Lynette, it is so good to see you finally. I know you're muted, just so you know. I do want to hear you.
Sorry about that. I'm a little nervous about showing my face, so
oh no.
I'll get
Oh, hang on one second, you guys. I'll take it.
Okay. Sorry. Oh, so I know you were writing a mystery.
Yes. So I had taken vacation days Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the rest of the week, and I didn't get much done. I'd done a lot of research for my historical fiction work. So I'm in the research process for that, but today I worked on the mystery and it went really well today. So, yeah. So I got some words in and I'm probably going to do more tonight, but I had to say no to a thing. And I'm like, I'm doing really well right now. I don't, I want to see how far I can get this evening. So my butt's home this evening.
so that's one.
Yeah.
Yep. Do you have any idea when you might finish or how far along you are or anything like that?
I have a hard deadline of April 30th because I want to get the first 2 books out. Probably late this year or early next year. So that's the timeline I'm aiming for. So yeah, if I want to do 2 or 3 books a year, that's the goal. So if I can get 2 out, I will be really happy.
Cool. That is wonderful. Are you going to self-publish? Are you going to go for a traditional publisher? What are you thinking about doing?
I'm going indie because with all the issues with publishing right now, the big 5 I believe became the big 4, and it just seems there's a lot of monopolies, and I would just rather do it all my own. And if I didn't like something, a cover, I can change the cover when I want to. Yeah. So yeah, this was the route I had chosen to go a while ago. So. Okay.
Well, great. Looking forward to that. Let me know when you've got a link, even if it's a pre-order link or something.
Oh, I will.
And I'll put it in the description box. I'm adding links down there to members' books. So those are available.
Can I
should
ask
we
a
take
question?
Not yet.
Um,
Go ahead, Deb.
of Lynette? Can I ask? Yeah, Lynette, you're going to be self-publishing. What marketing
Yeah.
technique are you using?
I honestly, I'm reading Zoe York's Romance Your Brand and Romance Your Plan right now, and I'm doing the homework that comes with that. So I would follow whatever instruction she has instructions in there. So I'm going to follow those. And Alana Johnson, whom we discussed last week, and I can't remember who we discussed her with, or it was a couple weeks ago. She also has a couple books. Yeah, she's got a couple books on being an indie writer and marketing. And I'm an administrative assistant during my day job, so I figure, a lot of this admin stuff I can do myself, and then, it doesn't seem to be that hard.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
it's time
Thanks.
consuming. Yeah, it's just time consuming, but yeah, it's doable. It's doable.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, and the plan is, I'm always going to have a day job, so this would be
Me too.
Yeah.
Well,
this
maybe
is-
not always. We'll see.
maybe not always, but
We'll see.
Crossed.
Yes.
Are we going to use that as a seg? The links in the description.
No,
Okay, go ahead.
if you don't mind, I was. Hang on. First of all, just 1 second. Sorry. I was going to ask Michelle. Do you are you thinking about going? Are you going to do look for a more traditional publisher? Or are you going to do indie author or?
Sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, I have to tell the cuties to. I certainly, on my live streams, a number of times, my two cats have started fighting. Even the one time they were fighting right there. It was like, oh my gosh, this is like the thing you see on the news, where somebody's, luckily I'm not actually on like television, like broadcast television, because my cats are having a fight right there.
But the people that watch you as both Autumn and Sebastian do not mind.
Oh, well, thank you. But go ahead, Michelle. Sorry.
It's Sky. It's the newest ski that we just adopted, and she knows when I'm on the phone. And she thinks it's her time to act up. But to answer your question, I was hoping to go traditional because I'd really like to see that work go into a film script. And I don't know the slightest thing about turning it into a film script, but I thought, hey, I've gotten this far. I'm going to take it step by step and see if I can see it to fruition.
That is the way to do it. All right, let's see if we can add some things in here. Okay,
Come back.
you're back. Okay.
So, sorry about that.
It's okay. When we're not talking, we might want to mute our microphones just because we all have pets and stuff.
All right.
So, hey, Ginny, how are you doing? I'm sorry you came in earlier and you didn't really get a chance to say hello. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. Have you been able to get any writing done or?
I am working on putting my WordPress blog together. So it is live and not a continuous loop as of about a half hour ago. So
good. Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to. Oh, there's Rebecca. There we go. All right. Well, all right. So you've been working on the website, and Christine, what are you working on? What are you writing?
Unmute. Okay. I'm working on a website, and it's not going very fast right now because I haven't had time. I joined your Nano writing group, but I never had a chance to do it with everything going on. My website's called Crystal Clear Doorway.
Okay.
So what I'm hoping to is have some short stories on that.
Nice.
I used to write for newspaper and radio, so a little bit different. Yeah.
That's wonderful, though. All right.
I learned how to seat my pants. So the way I do it, I learn everything.
Yeah, we're learning what we can and gathering information where we can. And that's also kind of what the point of the group is to, it's not just to hold yourself accountable, but also to say, you know, I'm at this stage of what I'm trying to accomplish. I'm at this stage. And has anybody been there? Does anybody have any suggestions? Is there, you know, and just keep your spirits up, because it's a, you know, you're by yourself. You're doing this yourself. You're self directed on this, and it can be easy to not make a priority of it. I'm guilty of that. And then time goes by and you look back and you're like, oh man, I should have. And instead of that, let's, you know, hold my feet to the fire and show up here every Saturday.
So now that I know it's on Saturdays, I teach online. We've had a break. I teach art for a museum. We've been closed. We were going to open again, and now we're closed. The studios are closed. So I do that. That's why I miss you sometimes when you're Autumn, because I'm online at the same time doing Zoom. So I haven't done StreamYard. So I'm a little ignorant on StreamYard, but I'm hoping to write more stuff. You know, I'm really excited. I haven't read your books yet.
That's not a requirement. That's not a requirement. So, well, good.
But thank you. I've watched some of the past ones that you've done. So that kind of helped me a little bit, because I see some people I recognize, Deb and Ginny and Rebecca, so from before. So
awesome.
Thanks for having me. I'll go on mute. Shut up.
He's welcome. Allison's here. There you are. Hello, Allison. How are you?
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, good.
Have you been listening in, or?
I've been listening in backstage while I've been getting myself presentable.
Oh, there you go. How's the writing going?
Well, I did not get my 5 stories done that I wanted to do, but I did do a lot of thinking about 2 other ones that I'm going to be working on. They're all the same story for this Chicken Soup for the Soul competition contest, and I'm trying to enter the story from different time periods. And then I'm trying to figure out which one works better, and I like short stories because I like, you know, more immediate gratification than my NaNoWriMo novel that's still sitting there.
Yeah. I hear you. Oh, puppy dog. Sorry, distracted. I saw fuzzy ears, and it was just like my attention just went, oh, goodness. Oh, look at that sweet face. Sorry. Okay, but you got some writing done. You're thinking about stuff. You're making progress.
Yeah, I have a deadline of January 15th, so I really got to get my act together.
Okay. Well, we're here, and whatever we can do to help.
At some point, if someone would be willing to take a look at it, it's like 800 words, 1,000 words at the most. I would appreciate that. So.
Okay. I'm not quite sure how we want to organize that. For something like that, what if you put something in the comment beneath the video?
Okay.
And then anyone who's interested can reply to the comment.
Okay. And then it can go offline because I don't want to put it on the video.
Right. But you can just briefly put in some way they can contact you, or
okay.
something like that. So yeah. Yeah. So all right, maybe that would work. We'll try that. We did have some comments over here. If there's a Cat Shepherd is in the chat saying good morrow, friends.
Oh.
One Dominant is saying, when I publish, I will be self-publishing through the University of Memphis's Tiger copy and graphics business. They contract to UM, but are public perfect bind ISBN and mark it POD on Amazon for you. Oh, nice. Nice. They even help the writer format the file, pick a size, etc. Hands-on with you. Most universities have similar print shops available. If you don't get any hard copies for yourself, they do it all for under $300. Hey, if that sounds great. If somebody wants, that kind of help, that is awesome. Wow, they'd help you. Yeah, and heck, the cost of an ISBN is just so crazy anyway. Yeah, oh my gosh, if anybody doesn't know, you don't need ISBNs for everything. And if you just quite often, if you just publish through Amazon, they'll just give you one you can use while you're there. While that book is available through Amazon. But other than that, my gosh, you go to Canada, they're like $5-10. You come here, they're, what is it, Sarah? At least 100 each?
Something like that. Yeah. I think we're looking at, the thing is, then you have to buy them in bulk. You can't just buy one or two here or there. I mean, if you do, the prices are ridiculous. The only way to get the price to a reasonable amount is to buy vast quantities of them. So to get them less than $20 a piece, you have to buy $500 worth, which is insane.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, is that, pardon my ignorance on this too, do you have to have one per book? Is that how it works? How does it work?
One per format. So you'd have one for an ebook version of your book. You'd need another one for the print version. And then if you come out with another book, you need individual ISBNs on each one of those separate, and then and on and on. So every format needs its own ISBN. It adds up.
You have an ISBN to be able to get into libraries, don't you?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yes. One dominant saying in the U.S., ISBNs must be purchased in a quantity of 5 minimum. And every book must have its own. Yeah, every format must have its own. Exactly. Hello, Katie Moonchild. All right. Rebecca, how are you doing down there?
I'm doing pretty good. I didn't get my 5,000 at all. Not. I got about maybe 500, 450, something like that. It's better than nothing, but yeah.
Oh, you got writing done, and that's good.
Yeah. But otherwise, I'm okay. I don't know if anybody else is hearing this, but I'm hearing feedback, and I don't know how to get rid of it, and it's driving me crazy. Because I hear something, and then I hear the same thing about 10 seconds later. So I can't understand what's going on.
I had to close out of my YouTube to do that. Once I came into the StreamYard, when I closed out of the YouTube, it helped. See if that
helped. Okay, maybe that's it. It did it.
Yay.
That was it. Thank you. Excellent. I couldn't figure out what was going on. So otherwise, yeah, and I've had a nice, I had a quiet New Year's, and so yeah, that's not very exciting, but good.
And remind us what you're writing.
I'm writing a YA mystery. Yeah. So.
Okay. Do you? How far do you think you are into it? Because everybody starts.
I'm probably 3/4 away through it. I'm trying to write up to 100,000, and so I've got probably 65 to 75,000 words now. So.
Excellent.
Progress. Yes. But I have to have something. I need to have something to hand into my writing group in 2 weeks. So. My critique group. So I have to get on it. Get a good chunk available so people can review it. And I tend to write in scenes, so that really hinders a lot of people being able to understand what I'm writing. So I have to keep up every month so that I can so they don't forget my story. So So I need to submit something this time. So I've been working on that. So
Good. And what do you think
Yay.
you'll do with it? Do you want to go?
I'm going to get it. I'm going to try to get it published traditionally.
Okay.
So several people in my critique group are published traditionally, and so they have offered to let people, their editors, know that I would be somebody that might be contacting them, but not encouraging them to pick me up. But I'll just at least I have names to contact for agents or editors or whatever. So,
Yep.
but I have to get something done first. So
Yeah. Well, but you can do it.
yeah, I'm hoping.
Now
Well, not hoping, I am. I'll say
Yes.
I am.
You can do it.
I can do it. That's right.
Exactly.
All right. And trying to see if there's anything else over here. All right. So Sarah and I were talking. Sarah just backed up like, oh, here we go.
Yes.
Sarah, yes, because Sarah is part of a romance anthology that's coming out in mid-January, and so she wants to put out a full-length book under this particular one of her writing names. So it was a matter of creating a pre-order on Amazon, putting it up for pre-order.
Much wailing and mashing of teeth with this pre-order.
Oh, yes.
Let me tell you.
Yes.
It was, because if you haven't done the thing with Amazon, when you do a pre-order, you absolutely have to have it in by the date that they say to put it in, because if not, you're banned from pre-orders for a year. Like, you can't do any more pre-orders. And so it's like, art thou sure that this is what you're wanting to do? And so you really have to be like, this is what's happening. And
because thou shalt not be late to Amazon.
Oh, yes.
You can still publish, but you can't use their pre-order system at all. So any of that marketing you're doing to ahead of time before the book comes out, you can't do any of it. You don't have anything to link to.
Yeah, Lord Bezos is pretty strict.
Yeah,
over at Amazon. But but in order for me to take advantage of all of the marketing that's being put forth with the anthology, because people who are doing the anthology, they're really, they're pumping some advertising dollars in it, and they've got a lot of different things, like with Elena and whatnot. There's a lot of people with big brains who know how to do this sort of thing, that are making it happen, one which way or the other. The marketing wheels are churning, and it would be foolish of me not to take as much advantage of this exposure as I can, for whatever it's worth. So I need something to say, hey, so buy this. There you go. Woo-hoo, right here. Woo-hoo. So I've been working on something, and I had to go ahead and, well, I didn't have to, but I chose to go ahead and pull the trigger. And I might have cried to Sebastian while doing it, but yeah. But I have to be done, in order for my editor to be done with everything. I have to be done by the 20th of this month. And there's 24 chapters outlined, and I'm wrapping up chapter 8. So, whoopsies. So when I said last that I needed to have, I need 10,000 words this week, y'all, I was not playing. I needed 10,000 words this week. I did not get 10,000 words this week, because I was.
How much did you get, though?
7,082. So, thank you. Woohoo! And I'll have more later today, because I've got to finish chapter 8 and knock out chapter 9. That's before I go to bed. That's got to happen. But so that's me. And I went ahead and I was thinking about it. I know last time we talked about the anthology, I was, very skittish But y'all, I mean, it's us. And yes, I realize this is YouTube and it's going to be out there on the interwebs forever and ever. Amen. But anyway, Sebastian put the link to the anthology and the link to the pre-order for the book under the pen name. So the pen name that I'm writing on is in the description box. So it's like, you know, Sebastian said, once I make money, the kids aren't going to care. They're teenagers. I mean, I didn't want to write I didn't want to embarrass the kids by writing steamy romance, but they're not going to care. As long as I'm giving them skating money or whatever, they're really like gas money, skating money. Can I get a cheeseburger? I mean, no, they'll be fine. They'll be fine.
Hopefully their friends aren't reading it, right?
Well, hopefully.
No, as a teenager, no, you wouldn't read your friend's mom's. No, that would be weird. That would be weird.
That would be
Probably
hilariously my luck, but you know,
They wouldn't know.
Yeah.
It's all confusing here. They wouldn't know if you have it under a pen name if it was you or not.
This is true. This is true.
So
it may also give your kids street cred, you know, that their moms published and, you know, writing this steamy stuff.
Well, I'm also working on some other stuff to publish under my own name, like a mystery and a piece of women's fiction that I'm going to be releasing under my own name at the end of the year. But this other event that was supposed to come first, but this other opportunity sort of sprung up and I had to rearrange all my plans because, again, you know, when opportunity's on the table, you just got to kind of snatch it up. So,
yeah. And Sarah has the first mystery in her series written.
Yes, it's completely written. I was waiting until I had the second one just about done to release it, so that way I could get some traction on it. But the first one's done, and the women's fiction piece is about a little over a third of the way there. So, yeah.
Wow. Oh. So, yeah, I, you know, Sarah and I have been talking and, so anyway, so the day that she decided to do that pre-order, she sent me this message and it was like, oh my gosh, if you don't mind me, I'm sorry, but it was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I'm like, what is it? And she was telling me, I'm going to need a pre-order. I have to do this. And so I, you know, we talked about that and she did it. So she may have talked me into doing the same thing with my mystery novel. So
misery loves company. So, I mean, I figure I'd drag you with me, you know?
Yeah. I haven't told you. I told my mom about that you had nudged me into, hey, what about you? You could pre-order. You could set something up for pre-order. And I kind of, my mother's I love my mom, but she's a Taurus moon. She's very practical. Emotional need to be practical. And I was sure that when I told her, and that it's set to come out March 2nd, I was expecting her to start pointing out, okay, do you have this? Do you have that? You know, very practical, so working through the steps. And she just looked at me and she said, I'm glad Sarah nudged you into doing that. That's all she said. And she walked away, and I'm just like, I am too. So, yeah, and it's, if you don't mind, I was actually thinking about showing you guys what it looks like. If that's okay, the pre-order, because it's kind of scary looking if it's you. When it shows you that, I just want to show you guys the deadline thing. So I'm going to go into KDP here, and I'm just going to sign in. And here, let me share my screen. Let me see how many of us can fit on here. All right, if I share my screen, there's no sound. Share. Okay, did that work? All right. So this is, I'm in my the bookshelf where you put your books in to bring them out. And so this is in time. And this is the Kindle ebook. Pre-order is live. And so let me see here. I don't want to. Is it? No, it's, yeah, okay, it's live. Edit
ebook details.
Details. There we go. Thank you. Okay. So when you come in here and this title is a pre-order, changes allowed for the next 55 days, 1 hours, 24 minutes, and 14 seconds. Jeez. Okay, so you come in here and just normally you put in your title and subtitle. Is it part of a series? Your name. You put in your blurb. For anybody who hasn't done this through KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing, you say that you own the copyright or not, your keywords, on and on. And then down here, you can say, I'm ready to release my book now. Or if you're not in the Amazon doghouse, make my Kindle ebook available for pre-order, release date, you set the date, and then you get this great big thing. You must submit the final version of your pre-order title before February 26th. And it's like, okay. But suddenly the text just gets really big. It's just, and when it's you, when you've made that commitment, it looks really big. It's like, I'm very small and that text is very big. So, yeah. So anyway, so yeah, I've been working on that. I've been doing writing sprints and, yeah, just making progress and trying to set some goals. So that's going on there. So sweaty palm time, but it's time. I mean, I've got more than half of it written. I've got a whole bunch of scenes and things put together. So, all right. But there is one thing, other thing I wanted to share with you guys, and this was from the book actually Sarah suggested. It's called Pause to Prolific. Yep. By Kay Webster. And there it is. It's not very expensive. It's available on Amazon. And there's some really cute things in there, especially she's talking about the squirrels, how as a writer, you're a squirrel herder. And she starts naming,
Michelle's face when you said squirrel herder.
Well, that's what she says. And she started, say again, Michelle?
I said there's a story behind that. I have chat up when I'm at work because I work from home. I'm a medical coder. And there is actually a squirrel emoji on our chat.
For distraction?
Yep. Now you know why I was laughing.
Oh, I love it. Well, the thing is she starts naming the squirrels, and they're nice squirrels. One of my favorites is Grammy Loves You Squirrel, which is good because that's where you're like, I'll put on something cozy, and I'll make sure I have socks on to keep me, I'll get some cocoa and be when you sit down to write so that you're comfortable. That's actually not a bad squirrel. That's not a bad squirrel to have. And it actually reminded me this morning, I was just going to come in here and sit down and do the thing. And it was like, you know what? I'm cold and I need some socks. I should put some socks on. Grammy Squirrel would approve of some socks. I should go so I put some socks on. I felt so much better. It was like, all right, I like Grammy Squirrel and we're good. We're good. But there's, there's Bang Bang Squirrel, which is just, attention. There's social media distractions. She goes through all these different squirrels. And throughout the book, she's like, live up to your job, squirrel herder. She calls you that throughout the whole thing, which is just, it's really amusing. It's very cute. And then there are two things specifically in it. Let me just get to the right place. two radical ideas, and they're related. It's the idea of a reward, giving yourself a reward for writing. And what she was now I know this is going to sound counterintuitive, but I think it's worth thinking about. She was saying that we think about rewarding ourselves as something else. You know, it's brownies, it's something like that. But because she talks elsewhere about writing, having specific times of day or during the week where you're writing, and really just saying, okay, from here to here, I'm my rear end in chair, I'm going to be working, and if I get stuck, I have to deal with it. And it's like, okay. And what she was saying is this idea of the passion project. And she actually called it the passion project squirrel, where there's a writing you should be doing, and there's a writing you'd like to be doing as well. But you can't let yourself get completely distracted. But you have to understand that she has published 80 stories and books. She is cranking the workout, and she only writes 3 days a week. 3 days a week. And how she does it, and she talks about how during those times she always shows up during those hours in the middle of the week. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and she cuts out all distractions and what have you. But she said that she also has not just what she's working on open. She has this is the second thing she talks about in here. She has 4 projects open on her computer at all times when she's working. And if she gets stuck at one, she immediately switches to another. But she puts her rear end in that chair 3 days a week. And and then you do some of that, and then you can go back to the main one. And so she always has this. She is a professional writer. This is what she does, and she's only working on this, with at least the writing part, 3 days a week. She has a word tracker counting her word count, her daily word count for the whole year. It's right there. That's open on her computer, and 4 projects. And it is much like I had mentioned a long time ago, way back beginning of November. Walter Gibson, who wrote The Shadow, how it was the Depression. For anyone who hasn't heard it, it was the Great Depression, and he was asked to turn this voice they had come up with and turn it into an actual story and what have you. And he did such a good job. It just took off. It was very popular, but they were going to bring in other writers. And he said, no, I can do it. Because he knew if they brought in other writers, he wouldn't make enough money to live on. And it was the Depression. So they're like, well, you had to turn in a 40,000 word story every month. And he's like, sure, okay. And this is back when you only had manual type, those big, heavy metal manual typewriters. And ultimately, it became so successful, they wanted 2 of those a month. So he would write a basic outline, he'd turn it in, get that okayed, and then boom, he had to come out with 40,000 words every 2 weeks. And he did it all the way through the 30s. He had 5 of those big, heavy manual typewriters set up in his house. And really what it was is he would do what Kay Webster's doing, or Kay Webster's doing what he did, which is he would sit there and he would pound out, however much of this. And if he got stuck, he would pick himself up and put his rear end in that chair and work on that one. And It's amazing. But the being willing to do that, to me, it's counterintuitive because it's like, no, shouldn't you just focus on one thing and not deviate? And it's like, no, you should set the time you're going to write. And then once you're there, you're writing. That's just how it's going to be. And it's like, okay. But it's also, when she was talking about rewarding yourself, she said the reward, think of, because we start writing because we love writing. And because you do have these passion projects. I mean, I've got a number of books here. I'd love to write, just make the time, just finally finish things I have, half or more of it already done. It's this idea of rewarding yourself for writing with writing. You don't need brownies. You're going to get that joy from, being able to, you made this, you accomplished this, and now you're going to accomplish this as well. And you worked through your writing time all the way through. And it makes a huge difference. So I just wanted to bring that up. It sounds counterintuitive, but she calls it the 4 bouncing balls method. Like if with juggling, you get one bouncing, then you get the next, and then you can separate them out. But that's not the important part. And it doesn't have to be 4. It can be 3. It can be 2. It can be 8. It can be whatever you need it to be. But showing up and doing the writing apparently is the most important thing. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Did anyone have any reaction
Sebastian.
to that? Yes.
Oh, I was going to share that book that I got with others, but I can wait a minute.
Oh, no. It's,
I have a question.
Sure.
Yeah. So when you say you reward your writing with writing, can you is that like you get to write on what you want to write on, or like a project that you haven't worked on beforehand, and so you're going to do it that way?
Yeah.
Would that also be like research or something for a project, or?
Yeah, it could be that. I know, I'm thinking of a particular standalone book that is very separate from the other stuff I write. And I've been working on this thing off and on for years. I hate to say it. And I'd love to get it done. And it's just this idea of, no, but I need to write the series, and I need to do it this in order, and I need to set these deadlines and do this and do this. And it's like, oh, I guess there's no time for that. There's no time for these other things that I've wanted to get out there. And now it's like, oh no, wait, maybe there is. Maybe not this month, because this pre-order nonsense that somebody came up with. No, I'm just teasing. But I'm actually
was held up by my kitty ears, by the way.
There you go. There you go. But I'm actually more excited about the writing, the idea that I can actually open that too. I can have that there. And the other thing is I use Notion. I've shown you guys that for jotting notes down when I get ideas for snippets of scenes or snippets of what have you. I've got these, and you can create a Notion account for free. You don't even like the most expensive thing you could possibly ever get over there, which you really don't even need unless you put in great big files for some reason, is what is it, $4 a month? And you don't even need that. So Notion is a great place to capture ideas, snippets. And then when I go back to work on a project, I've got everything in one place. So it's exciting, but we're going to be busy. But I hope we're all going to be busy. And I hope we're all going to reach our dreams. Because that's really the thing here. It's that expression within you and getting it out and sharing. So, all right. Sorry, Deb. What was the book you wanted to talk about?
Oh, yeah. And I really haven't gotten fully into it, but I just thought others might want to know about it. It's called Save the Cat Writes a Novel by Jessica Brody. Yeah. Maybe all of you have already read it.
I haven't.
I'm
actually.
listening to it. Oh,
Yeah.
she talks
I
about
have read it.
how
I
your
found it to be immensely
hero.
helpful.
Oh yeah,
Hang on.
did you? Yeah, I think it is also. I can tell.
Is it on
Oh.
Audible, Deb?
Sorry.
Yes, I got it from Audible. Yeah, sorry, Sebastian. I got it from Audible, and it talks about how your character has to solve a problem, transformation. You know, really, she emphasizes how your character is going to have to, your hero will have to go through transformation, and that less perfect heroes are better than, more perfect. Well, if you're perfect, you don't have to transform, right? So I just thought it was really, really cool. Of course, I'm not all the way through it, but I just wanted to share in case anybody else was interested.
Oh, it is wildly. I think I read it a long time ago, but I should reread it. It's people talk about it. They love it. They love that book. I watch a lot of. Do you guys know Kate Kavanaugh? She talks about it. It's just like the one book you'll see around her. She has a YouTube channel. She's a writer. It's you have excellent taste, Deb, because apparently it is huge.
I didn't know that. I subscribe to. She's funny.
Oh yeah, highly recommend that. So, okay, one dominant is it does have a countdown clock time to detonation. All of my stories come together when I'm away from the desk. I just sit down to physically get it down. After that, it's all tweaking and cleaning it up. Whatever works for your process is what you need to go with. Harlan Ellison would crank out a short story in a day while sitting in a storefront window as a marketing tool. There you go. Cat Shepherd, one dominant, I can attest. I used to live in San Francisco and passed that bookstore regularly. Did you see him? Were you there when he was doing that? Oh, wow. One dominant saying, when I was physically writing between my full-time job and my writing, I pulled down an 80 to 100 hour work week. Seriously, lost all of my friends. I'm sorry, man. If you love the process and lose yourself in it, it's like a drug. Nowhere else you want to be. Then your job really interferes with your work. I love that. I love all of that. So, Cat Shepherd, yes. No, I wasn't friendly with him. Let's just say he wasn't a nice person. Oh, that's a shame. And especially if you're going to put yourself in a window, you got to be, if you put yourself up and you're in a window, like the early local YouTube, wouldn't you be like, or put up little notes, or if people put up notes to ask you things, wouldn't you? Isn't that no? You're just gonna sit there and be grumble about people. Humbug. Why are you in a window? Anyway, but anyway, all right. Well, I would like to hear if anybody has any goals this week. Who has goals? Anybody? Floor is yours.
More words.
I have a question.
Sure.
I have a children's book that I have in draft form and working on illustrations. Has anybody done any of that? I'd like to get that up and running. Is it harder when you have illustrations to publish?
If it's formatted correctly, I mean, you can upload as a PDF. So if you format it correctly in a PDF, theoretically, you could self-publish. I mean, people do it.
Yeah.
It's just going to take playing with it. Because once you upload your file, you can download what it would look like. Like it'll actually show a digital Kindle, and you can see what your file would look like in said Kindle. And you can play, so that way you can play with the file and adjust it to make everything look the way that you want it to look. So it might take you a couple hours playing with it, trial and error, to get it to look like the way that you want it to look like. But yeah, it can be done.
Yeah, it can be done.
But not if you're thinking about making something that is going to be hardback, because Create Space.
Yeah.
You said you do?
Eventually, I'd like it to be hardback. Yeah.
Because you can't do that through Amazon right now.
Amazon, right.
But I don't have. I'll be honest. I'm afraid this isn't an area I'm familiar with. I just know that I can't. Nobody can get their self-published book in hardback if they publish through Amazon.
Okay.
Then
Not
you
yet.
need the new ISBN number.
Yes, and you need a new ISBN number, exactly. When in doubt, go talk to Boker. So.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Okay. And anybody
I'm
else?
going to try. I'll try to do more. I said 5,000 last week. I can still try 5,000 this week.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. All for it.
So I really do have to get that 10,000 this week, like legit, like no joke. So somebody like come and just whoop me if I don't have it correctly, because that's. But yes, so I'm down for 10.
I'll wave my Kindle at you.
Yes, wave it in a very like disappointed manner. Yes.
Sad Kindle. Poor little sad Kindle.
I probably
it doesn't have Sarah's new book on it. It's very sad. I don't know.
I probably need to crank out a couple of more short stories, but if nothing else, I'm at the point where I'm going to be writing the court scenes, and I don't have a law background, so there's going to be some research involved.
Yeah. Aren't there actually though there's a book. It was one of the, oh gosh, this is back in the day, and there are newer, I think there are other publishers who've come out with something similar, but there are particular books that it's like scene of the crime, like what actually happens there, Book of Poisons, what they do. I want to say that I know there are ones on like police procedure, and then there's I want to say there's a legal one somewhere. I would have a look. There might actually be a book for writers.
Okay.
On things like courtroom scenes and what have you. Another thing is there is a fantastic YouTube channel. There's this lawyer. I'm not going to lie, he's slightly good looking, but there's this lawyer.
He's very good looking.
Candy.
There's no slightly.
Okay, just throwing that out there. He has. Let me have a quick look for him, because he has. He looks at the legal side of movies and what's realistic, what's not.
Legal, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, I think it is. Let me check.
Legal, yeah.
Okay, thanks, Sarah.
Oh yeah, that's him.
Thanks, Sebastian.
Let me grab the link to his channel.
Okay.
And I will. Where am I?
I mean, if you're gonna have to research, you might as well look at something pretty while you're doing it.
Exactly. Well, keep in
Excellent
mind,
point, Sarah.
I have to throw in the caveat that this was a legal proceeding over a century ago, too.
Well, that will give you some leeway.
Yeah.
In book 3 in my series, so later this year, I'm gonna have to write one, but it's gonna be set in the early 70s. And the main thrust of it is the sexism. I'm gonna try to make it amusing as much as I can, but yeah, she basically loses her right. They're like, yeah, the man gets control of the property because he's a man.
Yeah.
So
Downton Abbey.
Yeah.
You know, here in Virginia, we had the Pungo Witch, and she was like thrown into the river, with her hands all tied because they wanted her property. She was a widow. She didn't want to give it up,
Yeah.
Yuck.
Okay.
Anyhow, she got loose and swam to shore, and then they put her in jail for 7 years.
Oh, jeez. Okay, I'm putting Legal Eagle for a legal perspective on fiction. Movies mostly, but on fiction.
Thank you.
And I've put that, and it is a comment right underneath, and I am pinning that there. So anybody who needs it or is interested, yeah. Anyway, it's there. It's in the comments. All right. Is there anything I could do, research, look up for anybody else? Anything like that? I feel bad that I'm not as available for editing people's things as I want to be. I've got quite
You've got a lot on your plate.
Yeah, and I've got big text, big scary text. So, but other than that, I do want to help, and I really, whatever I can do, let me know. If I can't help, then maybe I can help organize something or what have you. So, all right.
Does anyone know of any good books about writing short stories?
Writing short stories.
I was looking at Brian Sebastian's seminars, and every once in a while he has someone come in to speak on them. So I was wondering, since I just decided to start doing this, I haven't researched it much, and I was wondering if anyone knew.
There are so many. I don't know. I don't know one specific. I do know that, the Brandon Sanderson, is that the one you were talking about?
Yes.
And Mary Robinette Kowal, the lecture 7 about the short stories.
Yes.
That's where I would start. But and it's not very long. There's Stephen King talking about short stories. I can see what I can find because I've got so many. There's so many books. The one isn't jumping out in my mind. If anybody else has any ideas, please jump forward here.
I can look through my stuff and see if I can find something between now and next week. And if I find anything, I'll have it available for you next week, if that'll work.
Oh, sure. Thank you. But you're busy. You don't need. You shouldn't even be looking for anything.
It's right over here. I need to stretch at some point, so we're good.
Well, I'll tell you what. If I can find something, I'll definitely talk about it next week. But I could put it in the but that would make you have to come back and check. I'll have a look if I can find something. I'll put it in the comment, a comment below. I could try that.
Sure. Thank you.
Or do you have Twitter?
Yes.
Because I'm a heavy Twitter user.
Oh, I'm still trying to figure out why Sniffy knows how to do Twitter and I can't figure it out.
Oh man, I could say so many things right now. I won't. I'll just let it go. like in MASH, my family, we use this line a lot. The line in MASH where Frank Burns says something stupid, and Hawkeye opens his mouth, and Colonel Potter interrupts him and says, "Leave it alone, Pierce." We use this a lot in our family. Leave it alone, Pierce. But well, I'll see what I can find. All right, let me see on short stories, because there are a number of good books, but one isn't jumping to mind. So let me see what I can find. Okay, short stories for Allison. Okay, all right. And does anybody else have some goals they want to kind of put out here?
Oh, I thought of something for Michelle. Michelle, I remember, doing other research, on different things and coming across newspapers from way back, turn of the last century, on like microfiche and stuff at libraries. And a lot of times they would describe in the news article in great detail what happened in the courtroom. Maybe that could be a good source for you.
It's
Wow.
possible. I've gone to the Historical Society in Frankfurt to try to dig up anything that I could on the backgrounds of both sides of grandparents, and if they had anything on the court case. And sorry, this was.
Hey, did you check out the Filson Society, Michelle? Did you check out the Filson Society in Louisville? In Louisville, there's the Filson Society. It's a historical group.
Filson. Is it downtown?
Yeah. They do have a building, I think, or they used to. It's been a long time since I lived there.
I think I heard
it's
about it just moving. So no, I have not checked it out yet.
They have a lot of stuff. That's my understanding is they do. So maybe you can get something there.
Yeah, and I live I live in Cincinnati now. It's about an hour and a half, 2 hours to Louisville. So sorry, guys.
Yeah, I know. I used to live in Cincinnati too.
So it's not far of a drive, and my best friend still lives in Louisville. So maybe I'll have to make it a point, but who knows what their hours are with COVID.
Right.
When you're talking about newspapers having detailed descriptions of courtroom scenes, there are famous cases that were huge news, huge, and people were hanging on every word, every detail, everything, and those kinds of things are online. I mean, and unfortunately, you have to think of things like Lizzie Borden, the Lizzie Borden trial, who was it? The
Charles Lindbergh.
We got the Lindbergh stuff. There was a New York socialite. I'd have to look it up, but there are these famous cases from in there, and believe me, they were every last little. She was wearing a blue sweater, and this person asked this, and that person, and this person was escorted over here with that. It was minutia in the newspapers, and like I said, a lot of that actually is online. Even the I want to say the New York Times has an online thing where you can actually look at the physical old newspapers, and you can like move it around to the different parts so you can zoom in and stuff.
And we can do that through our local library. We can get into the different newspapers and microfiche and stuff like that. If you have a library card, we can just get in through their system.
Yeah.
Here in Annapolis. So yeah.
Well, that could be good. I was just trying to I like that. Thank you, Rebecca. I was just trying to think of something other than like microfiche. Especially if
you can see they'll have pictures of the newspapers too. Yeah. So it's just all the ways you can get through or need to look at different newspapers, and different places have them all the way back to say late 1800s, and others only have them back to 1960. But it's just a resource. So.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I was just going to say I've tried the law libraries at Chase and U of L, and unfortunately didn't come up with a whole lot, but doesn't mean it's not out there.
I guess they could have it if it like got into like the Supreme Court reports or something. You might be able to find it, more descriptions, but they don't go, into what happened in the courtroom so much.
Okay.
One of your other options. Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Have you looked at newspapers.com? Because I was able to find loads of stuff on from like the Victorian era and the 1930s on there. So you might be able to find that.
Thank you,
To
Lynette.
find
Yeah,
articles on that.
try that. Yeah, that sounds good.
Awesome. Thank you, Lynette. Jenny?
I was going to say one of the other things you might want to look at is actually what's going on in courts today. I actually work for one. So with COVID, if they're doing proceedings, a lot of them are having where you can dial in on a telephone line to listen to what's going on, because court proceedings are usually now open to the public unless it's a sealed or private matter. And while things do change, the court changes really slowly. So a lot of the procedural things are pretty much the same. So if you can find one of your local courts that has a, case that might be not exactly, but, along that lines.
And Jenny, like you say, and there are also books on court procedure, which you can find at the law library.
Yeah, I'm gonna see. I've got to hunt down that series, law and crime stuff for writers. I know I bought I owned most of the books back in the day. I had to sell my library 10, 15 years ago, and wistful thinking about old books. Law and crime for writers books. Okay, so I've got a note of that. All right. Anybody else have any goals this week or any trouble they're having? Oh, I've got Allison with her hand up.
Two things. One, in terms of old court records, if you can get the transcripts, I don't know if somebody mentioned that already. I think, Jenny, you might have started to mention that. Getting the transcripts from a trial, if you find something that suits what it is you're working on, and then see if you can find a court reporter, the transcripts are like blow by blow, every little sigh, every little facial thing, so I think the transcripts would be really helpful. My goal for this week is to keep writing my short story so that I can get it ready to go out, because it needs to go out, I think, on probably the 14th. I'm trying to find the right astrological time to send it off.
Oh, you and me.
That's a good idea.
Oh, yeah.
No Mercury retrograde.
No
Mercury.
Oh,
yet.
When is that coming up? That's coming up like the end of this month, I think.
And
Yep.
I have an app for that.
I check online. I'm serious. That's why I don't bring, I'm literally, it was like, okay, is March 2nd safe? Yes. Okay. But I literally won't bring anything out on a Mercury retrograde.
Yeah. There's a great site called the Good Timing Guide. And she gives you breaks it down like 4 lines and I don't do anything with if it's not going to be a good final outcome, a green day. It's called the Good Timing Guide.
Good timing
I even
guide.
somehow the Good Timing Guide, and I even got it figured out how to get it as to an app. Today's Good Timing Guide, on my phone, so I can check it out.
Great, thank you. I'm going to note of that.
It's Polaris Business Guides.
Polaris
Business Guides. And today looks like it's a great day for y'all, but for me, it's turning out to be not.
Oh, sorry. Well, I'm having a good day because I get to hang out with you guys. So
because of the time, that's why I'm saying that it does the time zones. So I don't know if you can see that. Oops.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So if you go online, you can get it. You can see it every day. If you can figure out how to get it onto your phone, and I can't really tell you how I did it because I really don't know. But
we can work it out.
Yeah, you can work it out and get it on your phone, and that's really helpful.
Excellent. Yeah. I am not fighting the man in the gold lame one piece jumpsuit. It's just not, I do not mess with him. When he gets mad that he has to stop and he has to backtrack, he gets in such a mood, and I'm not messing with him when he's in a mood. That's how I see it. Anyway.
Well, I also looked at my library, and we also have a connection to the Library of Congress that has all of their historic newspapers from around the country. So you might consider either connecting with them and seeing if they have something. They may I think that a lot of their information is open just for the public, but you might want to go through your library and see if maybe they have transcripts of court cases and stuff in the. So, just an FYI.
Excellent. You guys are so helpful. One dominant is saying, I bought a local DA brunch one Sunday just for the Q&A, got everything I needed. It was, hello, you don't know me, but I'm a writer doing research for my story. How would you like a free meal? And it worked.
Good job.
There's an idea.
Wow. That's, I can't, not in the time of COVID, but wow, I'm impressed. I tip my hat to you. That is awesome.
That also has great dating potential.
There you go. Yeah.
I think
It's
I
a
hear a
good
story.
idea for a story.
I think I hear a story.
Absolutely. All right. Does anyone else want to chime in with anything? Because we've been here a while and we should probably get back to the writing, but I want to know if you have anything else to add. Anybody? All right.
Just
Okay.
good luck, everybody.
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks.
Yes. Good
All
luck.
right. So thank you to everybody for joining us. And thank you for everybody in the chat. I'm sorry I wasn't on top of it completely, but I'm trying to include everybody here.
Thanks for the inspiration from all of you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. And we will meet again next Saturday, 4:00 Central Time, so 5 Eastern and whatnot. So, but we'll be back and we will have words written and we will be that much closer to our dreams. All right? Hang in there.
Thank you. Happy
Thank
New
you,
Year.
everybody. Happy New Year, everybody. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.